Afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our latest virtual assembly. As you can see from this truly extraordinary West Ham United Christmas jumper, we are now beginning to approach the end of term and the start of the Christmas holidays. And I want to talk to you today, but also in my assembly next week, about what Christmas means to you. So I'm sharing my screen with you, and hopefully you'll see the question on the slide, which is, what does Christmas mean to you? And there are lots of words there that people often associate with Christmas. But there's one word which is also one of our King Henry School key values that I always think of when it gets close to the festive season. And that word is kindness, a word that we really value here at King Henry. Because Christmas, whilst for so many of us it's a time of joy and a time of family and a time of plenty, actually for many people Christmas is of course a very difficult time, a very challenging time, perhaps even a lonely time. And so kindness is such an important virtue, of course, all the year through, but particularly at Christmas. And it's really because of that we want to change slightly how we try and show kindness as a community this Christmas. So we are having Christmas Jumper Day this Friday, on Friday the 11th of December, where we're asking all students and staff to wear either a Christmas jumper, a Christmas hat or some tinsel, in addition to your usual school uniform. But rather than asking for money for donations, what we're asking for this year is for every King Henry School student and staff member to bring into school a non-perishable item like tinned food that we can then donate as a community to the Beck Food Bank before Christmas. And we have a target of 2,020 items that we want to collect on Friday, this coming Friday, that we will be able then to donate to some of our most vulnerable local people at what is a difficult time of year, unfortunately for some of them. And so we're asking you to bring one non-perishable item, and that when you arrive at school on Friday, that you take that and you drop that off in the school canteen. Or if you can't make it to the canteen, then you leave it with your form tutors on Friday morning. It's a really simple act, a really simple gesture. As we enjoy wearing a Christmas jumper, as you get to see my West Ham jumper on the gate in the morning, actually, we're going to be able to deliver thousands of items of food and essential goods to some of those in our community who need them the most. It's an act of collective kindness. So please do bring a non-perishable item or more with you this Friday as you add some festivity to your normal school uniform. Please remember that the Christmas jumper, tinsel or hat must be over your normal school uniform. So it should be your King Henry sports kit or your King Henry school uniform, plus the Christmas item this Friday. Kindness also extends to how we work together as a community here at King Henry School. And so there's something that we've launched in the last couple of days, which you may have seen in the last newsletter or around the school. We've launched the King Henry School Garden Project. And the purpose behind that is to take the central garden near reception in the middle of the school and to regenerate it. So we've been trying to recruit some volunteers amongst our staff, but also amongst King Henry families. So parents have been asked whether they would join our voluntary effort, and also students. So if you're keen to be involved in our garden project, then please do let your form tutor know or email gardenproject@kinghenry.org.uk. The idea is that we'll be able to clear the central garden and then restore it so that we can have outdoor education lessons in the garden, so that we can have clubs and extra activities that take place out there, and so that students can use it as a calm, reflective place where they can connect with nature, but importantly at the heart of our school, that there's something that we're all contributing towards improving, that we're working on together as a community. And that's what makes it, again, another example of this kindness, because we know that our work in that garden will benefit so many students, both now and in the future at King Henry. If you did read our recent newsletter, you would also have read about just one example of many of kindness within our school community too. And if you haven't seen it, I'm just going to briefly show you the article that went into the newsletter. So last week there was a motorbike accident near the school, and the gentleman involved, the gentleman whose motorbike it was, contacted the school the Monday after to say that one of our students, Charlie, in Year 9, and Charlie, you know who you are, had seen what happened, and instead of just walking past, he stopped and remained with the injured man until the ambulance arrived. And the gentleman who called in, Mr. Johnson, was full of praise for Charlie, telling us how mature and kind he was and hoping that we could recognise Charlie for his response. Charlie has been awarded 50 house points because of his act of kindness towards a member of the community outside of school, but representing our school and representing that value of kindness. And of course, it's not just within King Henry School, it's not just our food bank appeal, it's not just our garden project or our individual acts of kindness that we reflect on at this time of year. In fact, all around us at Christmas, there are stories of kindness. The classic Charles Dickens book, A Christmas Carol, the story that so many of you will be familiar with. We get introduced in that story to the character of Scrooge, who at the start is filled with hate, but by the end of it, having gone through a journey of self-reflection, becomes someone who is filled with the joy of kindness, with the joy of generosity, with the joy of looking after others less fortunate than himself. And so this Christmas, the question that I want to leave you this week is this one: how will you show kindness to others, both in the last 8 or 9 school days that remain, but also over the Christmas period as well? At a time when the needs of so many are highlighted, how will you respond? Will you walk on past, or will you be like Charlie in Year 9? Will you stop and will you support those who have a need at this time of year? And there's a quote: kindness begins with the understanding that we all struggle. At times in our lives, we all need someone else to show us some kindness. And when we are in a position of strength, it's important that we also show that kindness to others. That's why kindness is such an important value at King Henry, because as a family here at King Henry, we know we'll have highs and lows. We know there's good days and bad days, but there will always be times when someone in our school needs you to show them some kindness as well. And as a community, a final reminder that we can show kindness before the end of this term if we can collect over 2,000 items that we can donate to the Bexley Food Bank. So remember those items on Friday. Remember your Christmas jumpers and enjoy the start of the Christmas spirit as we look towards the end of term. Thank you very much. Take care.